Welcome to Living the Hobby High Life. I'm GK, I'm the host, and thank you for stopping by. We appreciate that. This is our first episode. We're going to just open it up and we're going to kind of explain what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what we hope to achieve in doing this. So, first things first, what we're doing is basically this is a channel, and we have been doing YouTube videos for a little over a year. So we have another channel. It is GK45X5, and maybe we'll put a link in the comments to where you can go and you can see some of our past videos and what we were doing then. And it's primarily opening up sports cards, or talking about the process of selling sports cards, or talking about or just sharing cards that we've bought. And that kind of got us to this point here. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're covering sports cards. And then why we're doing that is when we first got back into the industry, and keep in mind, I started collecting back in probably seriously as a little kid, probably around 1977, 78. So just right around second, third grade time. And I've been collecting on and off over the years up until this point. But when I got back into it and saw what was happening in the early spring of 2019, the biggest thing that was apparent to me was the room for growth. Now, that can be interpreted several different ways, but how I was kind of specifically looking at the hobby industry was there was a tremendous room for personal and professional growth, right? So at that time, I had aspirations of running a business. I'm currently a third-year business student at the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith. So it kind of aligned to where I wanted to go. And since I had been collecting cards on and off since, the late 70s, as a young kid, I'd seen a lot of changes over the years. And why not go for it, And lastly, I think, in all transparency, man, I always had this little dream of opening a card shop, and I'll share some of that experience with you, like the why behind that later. But that was the thing. So that was the why. We saw an opportunity for personal and professional growth. And then so what we plan to do is in the involvement of our other channel, the GK45X5 or 45 by 5, we kind of saw a ceiling and some limitations there for what we were able to do and how we were able to reach others. So one of the things that we like to do is just share our experience and share, most importantly, what we've learned from our experience. Number two, we kind of like to share the failures or adversity that we face on a day-to-day basis in the hobby, and how processes that we built or implemented have helped to improve that. A lot of times, a lot of these hobby shows, so to speak, you see a lot of glamour and glitz and hits, and man, there's nothing wrong with that. I appreciate it, and I enjoy watching it as well. But it can be kind of misleading to some degree, because not all the time does it work like that. Not every pack that you open up is going to contain, an autographed Zion card. You're most likely left with like a, Joe Bag of Donuts base card, and that's the reality of it. So we kind of want to just put a glimpse of, hey man, there's the way it can appear on social media, and then hey, here's what we see day to day in the meat and potatoes, or the day-to-day operations show us this when we analyze the data. So we wanted to have a format in which we could share open discussions with others regarding the hobby, and man, that's broad. There's all kinds of hobbies. Sports cards aren't our only interest, and we wanted to have a way to incorporate some of that as well. So that's kind of where it's at. You can find us on social media, GK45X5, 45 by 5. You find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're all over the place. That's where you'll find us. This is what we'll probably be doing going forward. And over the next month or so, it'll be kind of sketchy because we're under construction, basically. But by doing this, it forces us to improve our ability to produce content. It forces us to improve our ability to take photos and videos and edit those photos and videos for viewing, and basically just give a more professional polish to our incorporation, which we've built around sports cards. So thanks again for your time, man. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you more in the future. And until then, keep living the hobby high life.